Hey, Mr. Grable here. So we're going to be doing Go Math, fourth grade, lesson 1.4, and the big thing is rounding numbers. Now, you've been rounding numbers for a long time. This is something that we do all the time in our daily lives, adults, kids, everybody. Um, hey, can I have about $20? Or that toy is going to be about $5. So we round numbers very often, but it's a skill that sometimes kids struggle with, and it's all about place value. So rounding is the same thing as estimating. It's just telling us about how many or about how much. It's not an exact amount, but it's usually pretty close. The first one I'm going to show you is using a number line. So we're going to round this number, 138,202, to the nearest 100,000. So it's either going to be 100,000 or 200,000. And right here, your book does a nice job of making it nice and visible for you. So it's either 100,000 or 200,000. And it's definitely closer here to that 100,000. It's pretty cool to see. So the number line is a pretty good way for you to see where that number would fall. Kids don't like making a number line very much. It's not very practical. But we I will show you this way where we identify the place value where we're going to round and we look to the right. So I'm going to change or keep this underlying digit the same by looking to the right. Well, 5 or more, I raise the score. 4 or less, I let it rest so the underlying number rests. I just fill, um, I just hold the spots with zeros for that place values. So a couple more examples of this. Let's go ahead and look at number 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to try to go through them pretty quick. So we will practice reading the numbers. 934,567, and we're rounding to the thousands place. So anything before the thousand spot, we just got to keep the same. Now, so we look to the right, that's 5 or more. So I got to raise the score of this 4. So it becomes 5, then I just hold the spots. 935,000. Number 3, 641,267. Once again, any numbers before that underlined digit has to stay the same. Now we look to the right. 600, well, I look to the right and I see a 1 in 1,000, so I got to let it rest. So I keep the underlying digit the same. 234,890. Well, look to the right. 4 or less, let it rest. So the 2 stays the same. Right here, anything before the underlying digit, I got to keep it the same. I look to the right. 5 or more, I raise the score. So it's 350,000. Let's take a look at a couple of questions on the computer that you'll see. So it says, suppose 255,150 people live in a city. Is it reasonable, does it make sense to say about 300,000 people live in the city? Use the number line to help you solve the problem. Explain your answer. All right, so we got our two answer choices, 200,000 and we got 300,000. 255,150. Well, here's 250,000, 100,000, 260,000, 270,000, 280,000, 290,000, 300,000. So I would put 255,150 about right here on the number line. Well, it's closer to 300,000. So I would say yes, it is a reasonable answer. 255,150 is closer to 300,000 than it is from 200,000. So let's go on to the next problem. All right. So the other way of doing this problem is the way that you'll most likely want to do, and this is how you're going to show your work on a piece of paper. make sure that you write down the number. And make sure that you're underlining the same digit. 643,358. So I look to the right and I let it rest. So it's 6, that stays the same. I let the 4 rest. That's it. 640,000. Here we go again. 326,497. I'm rounding to the 10,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. So anything before this underlined digit stays the same. 5 or more, raise the score. And when we look at our answer choices, they're usually actually pretty good at trying to trip you up. So 326,000. This is a great answer if we're rounding to the thousands place, but we're not rounding to the thousandth place. We're rounding to the 10,000s. 320,000. Okay, this is a reasonable answer. But when I look at the digit to the right, it's a 6, so I have to raise the score. It doesn't stay the same. 330,000, we know that's the correct answer. And 310,000, that's no way, Jose. It doesn't make any sense. So I like this problem. It's a two-step problem. To the nearest 100. Okay, so that's what I'm going to have to underline. The factory produced 3,600 jars of applesauce. So applesauce on Thursday. And then 5,200 jars of applesauce on Friday. To the nearest 100, okay, there it is again. How many jars of applesauce did they produce during the 2 days? Well, I'm going to have to add these two numbers together. All right. Now, so it's not this. I got to round. Okay. I got to round to the nearest hundreds place. So I look to the right. Oh, well, 4 or less. Let it rest. It stays the same. So 8,000. Remember that 1,000, that comma is right by the M on your keyboard. All right, let's try this one again. Same type of problem. We're going to see the total weight of these two elephants. So 6,831 for the male, and then the female weighed 5,616 pounds. To the nearest 100, you see that? What's the total weight? So total weight, I'm going to add 8 plus 6 is 14. Make sure I group. 7 plus 5 is 12. Okay. The total weight is about blank pounds, so the hundreds place. Okay, so anything before the hundreds place, you got to keep the same. I look to the right. 4 or less, I let it rest. So 12,400 pounds. How much these two elephants weigh. So last problem, this sometimes is a tricky one. So about 300,000 people attended the festival. Choose yes or no if the exact number would be 300,000. So we're rounding to the 100,000s place. And I can tell because of all of the zeros here. So all of these numbers you should write down. And when we round them, if they're about 300,000, we would do yes. And if they're not, we would do no. So right here, we look to the right, 5 or more, we would raise the score of this 3. So it would be 400,000. Oh, no. That's not the same as 300,000. Here we go. I look to the right. 4 or less, I let it rest. So the 200,000 is not the answer either. Here, I look to the right. 5 or more, raise the score. So I would raise the score of that underlying digit. This 2 and it becomes 200,000. So yes, because that's the same. Look to the right, 5 or more, raise the score. So this would be rounded to 400,000. And this number, 335,992, I look to the right. 4 or less, I let it rest. So this 3 stays the same, and it's about 300,000. So that's a yes. Make sure that you've done the other ones. That's really it, guys. We have been working on rounding. The big thing is practice. The big thing is clarity as you read, lining up your place value, and looking to the right, and really just common sense thinking, taking your time with rounding. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.